但是呢，今天我讲这个第五堂。
Oh, sorry, sorry. Can you hear me? 喂，一二三
Yes.
，OK，
Yes, you're good.
好，抱歉，技术上的问题，OK，我忘了
Sorry,
打
we
开麦
had
克
some
风。
technical problem.
好，再介绍一次哦，我是 Gibson。
So again, to introduce myself, I'm
我
Gibson,
想要跟大家分享一下，稍微介绍
and I would like
是
to
我不认识我的
introduce a little bit about
今天第
me.
一次看到我的。
Whomever don't know me can raise a hand.
我叫 Gibson，然后我是
My name is Gibson.
2012年的时候去
In year 2012, I came to know about Geshe Michael because somebody introduced me to read the Diamond Cutter book. And then I crazily read that whole thing at once, and then I started taking classes. And in 2014, at that time, the TCH organizer Mindy told me that if you have the chance, maybe you should go to Mexico because Geshe Michael teaches something different there. And Emily and I, we weren't together quite yet at the time. So recently, some people went to Kyoto, not quite to go to class, but more to have fun and travel. And at that time, I had the same attitude. I just wanted to, travel abroad and have fun. And then I remember it was Lamrim class, and we were talking about how you can find a teacher and serve them. So I saw Geshe on stage using the Tibetan text to teach, and I was like, wow, that's so sexy.
Remember, you're the translator.
Thank you. So Geshe reminded us that it's all our past seeds opening. And then it kind of triggered me to have the interest to learn Tibetan and also to go to DCIG classes.
然后这是一个对正常来讲呢，正常来讲
Do you want to mute yourself?
但是我比较愚笨一点因为我上了很多课。
Because I'm not very smart. I've been to a lot of classes, but after I went to a lot of the ACI classes, I didn't finish the homework until like several years later. So I'm someone who had that experience. So I would like to give you a reminder. It's best if you can finish your homework and right after the class and maybe discuss with some of your classmates where you're not understanding.
因为在这次的 ACI 3最重要的就是要实际的把你的屁股坐在冥想垫上。对，因为很多的大师都讲，假设你
A lot of the masters said, if it's the first time you heard about this idea and you are not putting it into practice and into your meditation immediately, then later on, when you want to come back to your meditation cushion, it's a much, much lower chance. You probably won't come back. So in this class today, we're going to talk about what kind of problems we face on the cushion when you're meditating, and when you face those problems, how do you fix them? So we talked about how you prepare your meditation space and get ready the knowledge and also the 7 ingredients, right? And then we're going to talk about what kind of problem we're going to face when we have meditation. What do you think is the biggest enemy of meditation? Laziness, right? Laziness. And that's our first enemy today that we're going to talk about is when we don't want to meditate.
这个懒惰是什么意思呢？
So
有没
what
有
does
人
it mean
每天都感
by
觉到有时候我们起来
laziness?
的时候，我们都已经花了很多的钱，然后花了很多的精力去安置到一个空间，但每天醒来的时候呢，可能有时候你6点起来、7点起来、8点起来，当你出来的时候，往右边一看，看到那冥想的坐垫。
When you are getting up in the morning and then you walk past your meditation cushion and then you thought to yourself, I do want to meditate, but I have to go, send my kids to school, or I have to make the milk for my kid and something like that. And normally you would think there are other things that are more important than meditation. So you're going to miss it for some other things. So this
这个
question,
藏文是我超级喜欢的，它叫 Lelo， Lelo， 大家可以跟着我
internet is not good here.
Lelo，这 Lelo 听起来就很像是很兰溪的那种感觉，大家有没有听过什么叫兰溪是什么意思？你知道吗？
那这个藏文叫做 Lelo. Sorry. So this Tibetan is Lelo.
Okay. 所以
or Lanxi is Taiwanese. So, for example, you just don't want to meditate, so you're going to find all kinds of excuses every day. You think, oh, meditation is good, but
什么样的借口？可能是说啊，我昨天还没有完成的工作，我要先赶快完成。
all kinds of different
我才有时间来冥想。有没有人
other things to do? And then you would think, oh, I'm going to finish this one more task and then I'm going to meditate. Any one of you did that? Or maybe I think, oh, my kids are more important than my meditation, or I have to make lunch, or in the morning I just cannot get up. Anybody you think you have to go to work immediately after you wake up so you're not meditating?
非常重要的敌人。大家有没有问一个问题，就是问题只有5个，为什么它的解决方就是解决的修正有8个？原因就是因为当中就已经有4个来解决这个问题了。OK， 好，那这一个问题呢，它会不断的出现在生活当中。
Is that it keeps coming back to you in life. Maybe you have meditated for a year. You might still encounter one of those days that, oh, you have to go overseas. Maybe you have to go to the US or other places. And before you went there, you've been meditating for half.
精力可以冥想，从那个时候开始呢，你就断了这个记录。然后你断了记录之后，你就想啊，天哪，都断了，破关都破了，就像我的话，我就觉得说，天哪，都破了，那我就先看个 Netflix 啊，
不用动，这样就好，谢谢。
先懒惰一下好了，就先去。
Then I would think, oh, I can just cut myself some slacks and look at what's fun there and go out in Kyoto, walk around, do some sightseeing. And I would give myself an excuse is that the space in Kyoto hotels are always so limited. And, after I open my suitcase, then I cannot quite sit down and meditate. But anyway, we have our solutions, right? What's the first one? Is that we have to think about
Netflix.
What do you think he's doing? Netflix? No, you won't have this kind of facial expression when you're watching Netflix. Oh, yes, he's in love. So sometimes when we are in love, when I was in love in teenage years, we didn't use like Instagram or things like that. We just have a date. And then now we would like follow others and to look at their posts on social media, and then we would look at their pictures. Oh, he's so handsome, she's so beautiful. And we would imagine maybe they are very talkative, things like that. So this is actually already in a meditative state, although your eyes are open. I don't know if you have this experience in high school, is, you know, all the hormones started to change, and you have the, what do you call, like always full of love, like you always want to have a date. Then what do you do first? You must tell your friends, oh, this person is so awesome, they look so beautiful. You can pronounce after me, ding ding, la, 대박. 대박. It's not the Korean word. Some of you might know. Only a few of you watch Korean soap opera. But anyway, if you're interested, I can teach later. What does it mean by 精英精? Is in the first class you should have learned, right? In the first class, we would learn a few very elemental words of Tibetan. So what does Teba mean? It's faith. But here it means like really depending on the benefits that this meditation object can give you. So if you feel lazy, then you have to go think about what are the benefits you can get from meditation. It's like the first time you read the Diamond Cutter book, or the first time you see Geshe, and first time you understand that the reason why he can earn so much money is because he's giving out a lot of money too. And then you are like, oh, I want to be someone like that too. I want to become the person who get money from giving money. And I don't want to become somebody who get money by taking other people's money. So actually, in a lot of other areas, we have this too, not just in meditation. So I would like to ask, what benefits do you think meditation can give you? Clear mind. So there are long-term and short-term benefits, and also everyone who gets attracted to meditation have different intentions. Like, oh, next time when my wife is yelling at me, maybe I can still see her as coming from me, not from her side. So if you are someone who wants to help a lot of people, then you have to go through the 5 paths. I don't know if you have heard about them yet. And the last path would be to become the planet jumper. That's how Geshe says it, is that you can emanate into different people in front of different people to help them. That's our ultimate goal. So you can list them out. What do you think meditation, why meditation attracts you? It's like girls. Some people like girls with long hair. Some people like gentle girls, etc. And then different people would see different benefits in meditation too. And what for you personally, when you look at Brian, or you look at Tim, or you look at Geshe Michael, and through learning meditation from them, what do you think you can get to turn your debts into profits, to be peaceful? I think you can all list them out, all your goals in meditation, maybe 20, 30 of them.
去把这个冥想的好
If
处
at the
列出来。
beginning you can list all the benefits of meditation that you think it can bring you,
看起来
like what kind of cool things it can bring you. For example, if you like quietude.
一天起来遇到很
But of
烂的事的时
course,
候呢，
when you wake up
那个
in the
不
morning,
够吸引你的话，你很可能
when you are facing with some shitty things, then
在这里非常重要的是我们要
if the benefits of the meditation is not attractive enough to you, you wouldn't do it because you think it wouldn't change the shitty things anyway.
说未来它可能
So,
哦，像最近
and then
葛校
some people say you would get a future sense. It's like you can see the trend going in the future.
哦，每
It's
天
like
翻译5到10
Geshe,
10页的
he has this vision of
或者是你
doubling productivity. That's one of the recent topics.
你的团队
Like he can translate
这些都是其中
in the morning with high productivity,
知道，就是
and then you would know how to lead your
那对我来
team
讲，我觉
better.
得我们日常当中可以最帮助到我们，就是我们时时刻刻都可以
So for
意识到
me is
自己
that
来自于哪里。
it can help me to
想要
really
去
see where our world is coming from
像
in every
像最
moment.
近我看到那个 team，
Like recently, I see Tim.
有一个例子，就是
He has an example.
在这次的京都饭店，
This time in the Kyoto hotel, you know, at the beginning when he booked it, he had like
出来的这个房间
some over 50 rooms
卖不
booked
出去，
extra
在这个
that he couldn't sell.
活动前的1个月，
And that's just like a month before the event starts.
冥想特质的话
If you
你就
don't
会
have
发慌
a good meditation, you're probably panicking in his position. You would think, oh, what should I do? Or you might become depressed,
但是呢
or you might be very anxious.
因为我
But
那时候在美国的时候就看到 Tim， 他在
Since
回
I
想
was
在
in the States, when I was looking at Tim,
列了非常
he has been
多的清单
thinking about how to solve this problem, and he listed a lot of different options.
扎实很有效率的帮助到我，然后他就
And
列
then
了
what are the people who can help me
然后去跟
efficiently? And then he started calling people and having meetings and then asking for help. And then,
完全
as you all know,
是清空，
a week or 2 weeks before the event started, then all that debt was actually dealt with already
时内把它解决掉，
within a week.
600多万嘛，哦，650万
Oh, that's like somebody told me it's 6.5 million Taiwanese dollar.
听到的话应该会
So yeah, if
对不对？
normal people, when they
有
are faced with that kind of problem, they might just panic and break down.
做咖啡冥想，
But if you have a good meditation,
解决这件事情。
then you know how to do coffee meditation and how to solve the problem. So that's the first.
当你今天在高中遇到女朋友，或者是
So
喜欢的人
when you are
遇
in
到的时候，你下
high
一个动
school
作
and you met your first love, your
下一个动
girlfriend,
作是什么？
then the next thing, what's the next thing you do?
就很开心而已吗？
Just be happy?
一直看她，对，
Look at her all the time?
你会想说，我决定要
What do you think?
要把她，要追她，
Oh, you want to chase after them, right?
决定要追她，我决定要把她。
Yeah, I'm so determined to
对，虽
get
然没有
them.
这么的显现出来，但是你心中
Maybe it's not too
下的一个
obvious,
决心就是
but you kind of quietly have this resolution, or you have this
我
determination
想要变得跟葛校师一样，
to think to yourself, I am going to get them.
我想要变得跟 Brian 一样。
And or maybe in meditation, you would think, oh, I would like to become like Brian or like Geshe
就
Michael.
是来自于成为一个好的冥想者。
And I think if you know all these benefits, then you will become a
所以
good
今天大家做的一
meditator.
个功课就是你先去问很多人，或者
So
是
when
去
you
学
want to
习
get
就是冥
close,
想可以带给你最好的品质是什么？
you can first ask some other meditators
你在这辈子可以得到的。OK， 然后接下来
and
就
to learn
你
from them.
想要去成为一个好的冥想者，
And then you have to be determined yourself to become a good
这个
meditator.
藏文叫顿巴，
And
大家可以
the
顿巴
Tibetan is Dunpa.
顿巴，就是
Please read
决
Dunpa,
定，我想要
meaning
成为
you
一个好的
have
冥
made
想
a
者，我也想要
decision
他
that you're going to become a good meditator because you want to become
那下一
like
个是什么？
who you learned that meditation from.
下一
Then
个
what's the
是
next
销
one?
售卡片。
Next one is maybe you're gonna give some cards with some messages. So when you're in high school, maybe you have once walked them to the bus station, or you even get on the bus with them, and then until they get to the stop of their home, and then you get off even with them, and then you take another bus to go home. Things like that. You pay a lot of effort because you're so full of love to that person, and so you would use all the means that you could to try to impress them. So you should also feel like that towards your meditation. You're willing to give all your efforts. So what are the efforts? Yeah, maybe you buy a very luxurious meditation cushion, or get the Insight Timer app, and also upgrade to the VIP version, etc. The Tibetan here is Chunjuk. Chunjuk is actually the fourth perfection. It's joyful effort, but it's not exactly the same meaning as in the sixth perfection. So the joyful effort is that you enjoy doing good things for others, giving your effort to others. That's one of the six perfections. But here, what does it mean? It means that in order to become a good meditator, you are gonna pay all kinds of effort. Like what kind of effort is that? Like you would remind all your friends, oh, you should do meditation today too. Or maybe you set up like a check-in system every day and make a group. Or in Instagram or on Facebook, you set up a group, and then you say, I am Gibson, and I now make a commitment that I'm gonna meditate for 3 months or 1 month, and then try to influence others to do the same. That's one of the ways. And at the beginning, let me tell you, when I was trying to quit smoking, I used to smoke. And one of the ways that I did was to tell everybody I'm gonna quit smoking. So when everybody catch me smoking, then they will remind me. So I think you can maybe do the same. And so you announce to everybody that I'm gonna do this meditation challenge. If I stop at some point, then maybe I will, give some money to like $100 to somebody or $200. If I didn't quit it in a month, then I'm gonna pay somebody some money. Anybody tried any other ways of paying effort? To gather people to do the check-in. Yes, go to bed early. This is so important. Thank you for mentioning it. Why going to bed early is important? Yeah, because if you go to bed at 2 a.m. and then you get up at 7 a.m., you just don't have the energy to get on your meditation cushion, and you're going to give yourself the excuse that, oh, I'm going to go to work. And then the next day, you're going to think, when you're going to bed, you would think, oh, I didn't do meditation today. I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, I'm so tired. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And so that cycle just goes on and on for month to months. So you have to really make the effort. What other efforts do you think you can do? Put your cat next to you. That's great. That's a specific way for yoga. To kind of decorate your meditation room. That's good too. So it's like when I'm writing my book, if the book itself is ugly, it actually diminishes my will to write on it. So I would, buy a beautiful notebook to do it. Others, maybe burn some incense.
Oh, okay. 所以 刚才这同学讲的是每天在提醒的时候
So
呢，
every
跳
day
出来闹钟就是你老师的闹钟，然后说你还不
we should have an alarm clock
这
to
是其中一个。
remind
还有
you,
呢，
maybe with a picture of your teacher
放一张
in the
对照
alarm
照片。那如果
to
关于
remind
动
you
机
to
的
meditate.
还有动机
What
的
about
调整。
the intention? What's your motivation for meditation that you can adjust?
好，这是一个。还有吗？ OK， 所以有同学说为什么要做冥想？为这个做一个稳定清晰的动机调整。OK，
So let's think about why to
这里有
meditate.
当过妈妈的举手一下。
Anybody is a mom here?
OK， 猫的妈妈也可以。
Maybe you're a mom of a cat,
你想要
cat
小
mommy.
朋友越来越好吗？
Do you want your kids to become better and
来
better?
看，他们是有一天不是你先离开他们，就是他先。
But anyway, at the end of the day, either you leave them first or they leave you first.
能够去，你有没有去想？你有没有去
So have you ever thought about
想一个
this?
问题，就是有没有办法在之后我还能够再见到他们？
Is there a way that I can see them again afterwards when we
如果
leave
有
each
去上
other?
过 DCIG
If you have been to DCIG level 7, then you would know when teachers talking about a very touching content is that after you see emptiness directly, you will see your family members one by one, and then you look at their faces and you tell them, what do you tell them? I'm going to protect you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. I'll take care of you. Don't worry.
如果你可以去
So if you can take that responsibility, and every day when you're doing your meditation, bring back this motivation. If you think it's difficult to adjust to this kind of motivation, then you can think of my parents or my kids.
就是能够终有一天呢，我可以成为那个状态，然后可以说
I hope that someday I have the real capacity to really protect all of you. So we have to make some effort to be able to do that. When we are still able to do it, please seize the chance to do it. Because after you reach some certain age, may not even be certain age, but even at my age, you know, sometimes you have different problems. You have gouts here and there. Here is painful, there is sore. Then you lose the chance to do this. So we have to really do our meditation and pay our effort. And also every night, if you can spend some time to read some of the classics, ancient classics.
要怎么去让冥想变得更好，然后在为此上面去做一点努力。
And then trying to improve your meditation. That's chunju.
就是当你以后遇到这个问题的时候，你就想。
So that's the third step.
第一个
So even getting a girlfriend or boyfriend have 4 steps. So the first, you have to know their quality, good quality, and be attracted to it. And second, you have to be determined that you want to get them. And thirdly is you might have to pay some effort. And what's the fourth one? The fourth one is after you already got your boyfriend or girlfriend, and then you are so happy every day. And when you're so happy, do you think you want to see them every day? Anybody, when you're dating, you actually don't want to see them. I guess you all want to be with them every second, right? But somebody is shaking their head. But most of us, I think, we do want to be with our loved ones all the time. So it's like this cartoon. So you think like, oh, it's so happy to be with them. It's so joyful. I used to have that kind of feeling. So, no, I mean, I still have.
去想一想，就是
So we have to think about
在一
that.
起的那段时间多么
Oh, when we're together, that's so
这
beautiful.
个叫做
So what does that mean?
藏文叫心讲，
In Tibetan, it's called
这个叫
Xinjiang.
做心讲，
You
大家
can
念一下
read
心
Xinjiang.
讲，
Xinjiang.
心讲的意思是什么呢？就像
What does Xinjiang mean
然后
is
你每天呢
that you already have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and then every day you go out to see a
然后
movie,
去咖啡
and
店
you go together
吃
to
特别的
Kyoto to
然后就觉得
travel, you go
天
to
哪，我
coffee
是一个
shop
活在梦幻
and
之
have some
中的人，
dessert.
觉得这个
It's like
生活
living
完
a
全不无聊。
dream.
意思是什么？意思是你已经
What does that mean?
习得练得
Is that you already have this achievement. You already have tasted the
那它练
benefits
那
of
叫做什么？
your
不断地
meditation.
练习冥想而带来的身心清安。
And it's
OK，
because
这个
of
叫
your
身心清安的
meditation,
意思是什么？
then you
就是你
feel
今天
mental
进
and
到
physical
你做
lightness.
冥想，然后你来到
What does that
冥
mean
想的
is
时候，
that you
可以
feel
坐
like
在那
every
里
day when you
自
are
己
in your
就
meditation, you feel like it's easily,
不
you
会
can
的
stay in there for
天哪，
30
这
minutes,
怎
an
么痛？
hour,
然后
and you wouldn't
身
feel,
心
oh,
你会觉
I'm
得
so sore in the
身
back
心
or
灵
my
都
knees
像
are
坐
hurting.
在这
It's
个
like,
自己买的3万块的沙发上面，非常的舒服。这是你
so you would feel like just sitting on the
你生活
300,000
你
Taiwanese dollar sofa. It's like
学
that
好都非常
comfortable when
的
you're
就
meditating.
像你今天坐在那里，要坐多久都可以。
So it's like you can sit as long as you want on the cushion and you wouldn't feel discomfort.
它就像是被安住在那里，然后
It's like you are so
你想要慢慢
stable in
地
there.
在这个对象上
And you want to stay in that
停留多久
object,
停留多
then
久
you
然后
can,
你
your mind
开始感觉
can
到
stay.
哇
And then you started to feel, wow,
这么
indeed, meditation is so
可以
cool.
让我带来精神追求上的一个进步，
And it can
可以
really give
可以
me
让我变得
spiritual
更精进
progress
所以呢，
and also make me
心
more
能
focused.
够像一
And
只
your
小狗一样，像
mind
一只
is so
猫一样
clear.
你
or
要让那只
you're
猫过来跟你一起冥想，它就过来。
It's even like your kitty at home. You want her to come meditate with you, she would come. It's like your mind is just like that. It's so obedient.
所以在这个问题的这个4个当中，
So
它前面
in
3个就是最终
this
的目的就是希望把你
these
带到
problems, in the first
但是
three,
如果
it,
你今天带到第
the
4个的话呢，
purpose is to bring you to the fourth one.
才是真正的修正。
So
前
your
面3个修正
correcting is real correcting.
来到第4个修
The
正，
first three are just auxiliary. It's just helping you to get to the fourth one.
交到一个女朋友，然后享受那种欢乐的
So how can you really get a
你会发现说，你
girlfriend and then to enjoy in the time you spend with them?
时光。大家有没有看过
And
上
you
4个
always want to
他的
go
影
back
片
to that kind of
有一个
mood
在问说，
And maybe some of you have read the book Karma of Love.
有那种天堂的感觉。
And it's just, there's a question about, I used to feel like in heaven with my partner, but I don't anymore. Then how can I keep that kind of feeling all the
冥
time?
想也是一样，就是它会让你
So meditation can actually give you
正确的状态，然后能够
that kind of effect. It allows your
它就
mental and physical state into the correct
所以我们的目的
state
是来到
so that you can be focused
最终的目的
on where you're going
那这个的话呢，它就
and how you get your goals.
3个的努力。
And so in order to get to here, we need the first three. So first you have to think about what are the benefits of meditation. Because if without the benefits, you wouldn't have the motivation to do it. It's like if that girl doesn't have any quality that's attractive to you, you wouldn't want them to be your girlfriend. And then the second one is you have determined, you are so determined to do your meditation. And then thirdly, you need your effort. The effort can be, doing the check-in system or doing your book. Like Brian has mentioned, the 10 good seeds. It would be one of the most important factors for your meditation, good meditation. And next problem. So we have 5 problems and 8 corrections, but we are going to divide that into 2 classes. So whatever I cannot cover today, then teacher Tim will cover them all. Good?
那
Good.
我们直接进到冥想里面，
Then
进到冥想里面，你最
when we
发
get
现
into meditation, what do you think the most common thing would happen during meditation?
睡着 ，OK，
Falling asleep,
分心嘛，对不对？想睡觉。
being
今
distracted.
今天可能做这个黄金屋冥想哈，我们今天把
Maybe
老师
today we were doing the
你觉得最糟
golden
糕的事情，
room
最糟糕的事情
meditation,
发生的
and
事
we invite the
老
teacher
师不
to
记得
our
了
room. The worst thing is that what is that? Is that yes, our teacher disappeared,
或变成就
and then only bubble tea came up,
完全不见，
and
所以
or
呢
it's
它的
just all black. The
叫
teacher is all gone.
结
It's
巴
called danga.
党啊
Danga
结巴 ，OK，
in
党啊是什么
Tibetan.
意思？
So what does it mean,
党啊
danga?
就是指
It
或
means
指示的意思，结
guidance.
巴就是忘掉，
Jeba is forget.
看起来它
So
的
in Tibetan,
忘记指示，
the literal meaning seems like it
但实际
means
上呢
forgetting the
不
instructions.
是说你今天
But
在梦里
actually, it's not
忘了要
saying that
做的步骤
in your meditation you forget the golden room steps, or you forget or whether you should inhale first or exhale first, or you should, or when you're doing Tonglen, should you give first or should you take first? It doesn't mean that kind of instruction. What it means is
把那个老师或把你面前
you
就直接不见了 OK
the object that you put in front of you, that person or that teacher, is just gone.
每个人都遇
It's just
到
not there
没
anymore.
有人没有遇过的
So I think everybody has encountered that, right? If you have, please raise your
所
hand.
以呢，我们
So
这里要讲的事情是，就是接
here
下来
what we
讲
want to
的
talk
8
about,
个指示
these 5 problems and 8 corrections, is actually everybody would encounter them,
其他的
not just in this system or even in other systems meditation.
300一定会遇到这个问题 OK
Whenever any kind of meditation would encounter these problems. So when we start meditating, when we bring the teacher in front of us
这时候你会
and suddenly they disappear, then what do you do?
说天哪
And I would be like, oh God,
开台门都已经响了没关系
the inside timer is actually ringing
把他
already.
叫回来
And then I was like, oh, let's call him back.
所以你会怎么样把他叫回来
But then it was already 10 minutes. 10 minutes already
叫回来
passed.
就是他的
So you're trying to call your teacher back.
怎么讲他的修正他叫惩罚
This is called
惩
temba.
哦大家念一下惩罚
Read after me,
惩
temba.
罚的意思它有点
Temba
想
means
起来的意思但是它有另外一个
to remember,
叫做
but another meaning is to pull back.
所以呢今天就像是
So it's like
狗狗一样
it's like a dog.
就是假设呢
So, for example, if
你今天刚养一只狗狗
you just got a dog
你今天要去把它拉回来你可能都很紧
and you
张
realize that to pull them back, it's very nervous because you don't know if they just like to go everywhere they want, or they're very obedient and just walk around your feet.
绳子放长或放短
So we might
狗狗跑到非常远的地方
allow the string to be a bit longer to see how they navigate.
突然发现狗狗跑走了你要再把它拉回来 OK
It's like when you are in the park and talking to somebody else and suddenly your dog runs away, then you have to pull them back. It's kind of like that feeling
训练你的这个肌肉
to train your muscle to pull
训
back.
练我们在牵狗狗的这个肌肉
It's like the arm, it's like the arm muscle that you use to pull back your dog when you're walking them.
它跑掉了你就随时拉回来
Whenever they run away, then you have to have the ability to pull them back.
放回去
Whenever
会一直紧紧hold在这里
whenever they are kind of away too far, then we kind of pull them back closer.
紧张的开车人一样就是直接在这里
It's not like
OK
driving a car. It's not that kind of nervousness, but it's kind of letting it to navigate a bit. So Chenba here means in the first class we talk about Gongba.
但我现在这里给500块台币
I can offer 500
回答我
Taiwanese dollar if you can answer me the other meaning of Gongba. then I'll give you 500. Besides meditation, what else does it mean?
好，
Is it too difficult, this question?
答对了。
Oh, somebody got the right answer.
啊你到底是谁啊？
Who are you?
是
Very
上天
suspicious.
派下来拿我500块的。
Somebody from the sky coming to get my $500.
的意思就是去
So
适应
komba
或者是习
means
惯
to habituate
所
or
以
to get
前八
used
呢
to.
就是去想起来
And
是也有
chenba
的意思，就是
is to remember. It also has some meaning of komba,
你不会
to get used
但是
to
常会遇到的
this.
状况是，我今天
So normally people would have this situation is that after the
常常会
meditation,
我都已经练习10天了，我怎么
you will be thinking, oh, I already practiced for 10 days.
会
Why am I still not being able to keep my teacher? He still disappear from time to
然后
time.
呢再把它拉回来？
And I feel so sorry.
我们要做了一件
And I have to constantly pull them back. But we have to habituate to this. We have to get used to
慢慢回到我面前，不论你是
to pull this meditation object
冥
back.
想老师也好，或者是冥
It,
想
it doesn't matter which object it is. It could be your Tonglen object or your
拉
teacher.
回来，就像你开车一样。
So just
我问大家，
kind of
今天如果要刹车，你会
like a reflex that whenever you see them disappear, you just pull them
右边
back.
那个嘛？会不会有很多人很紧张，然后突然就是要刹车的时候，
So
右边那个就踩出去了？
when you are somebody who can drive, when you're sitting on
没有
next to the driver, then do you get nervous when it's like a red light that you have to step on the brake and you step on the brake for the driver, although you're not driving?
当你今天要刹车的时候，就左边。
So when you have to step on the brake,
当你今天这个，我看到有同学在
so I see some of you are thinking about what am I talking about left and right. It seems like we cannot distinguish left and right.
今天就是假设我们不见了，冥想对象不见了，
So if our meditation object disappeared, so the first thing to do is to pull them back,
把它拉回来，然后
constantly pull it back.
这个心呢，它跟小朋友一样，
And our mind is like a kid.
你跟那个一些
You have to give them some reward. If you are a very fierce parent, whenever the kid runs away and then when they come back, you scold them or yell at them
不准再给我出去，
and then you lock them up. I'm not going to ever let you
发
out.
现
Then you would realize that this mind,
跑得更远，然后
it's going to run away even further.
回来更困难。
And it's even harder for them to come back, for your mind to come back. So whenever your mind comes back, just tell them, oh, you did a good
我
job.
不知道现在还有没有啊？以前我去看牙齿的时候啊，
In the past, when I went to the dentist, afterwards, they would give you a little
宝
sticker
宝贴纸
like,
或者
well
是
done,
糖果，对不对？
or give you some candy.
你可以跟他讲说，
So you can also do that to your
大
mind
家乖一点，如果一直在我面前，
so that they would be willing to cooperate. You know, just tell them, if you finish this meditation with me nicely, I'll give you a bubble tea, something like that.
要非常的去，
So you have to treat your mind like a
可
kid
以吗？
to really take care of its
可
feeling.
以，我看一下。OK， 所以第二个问题，也就
The
是
second problem
忘记那个
is
对象不见了
forgetting,
我们就要
like
分享
it means your meditation object disappears.
记起。
And then we have Chenba to
接下
remember
来，
to solve this problem. And then
我们今天可能会讲比较快一点，我们等一下讲完了，我们
today
会有
I might have to
一段时
talk
间
about it
去想一想有没有办
quickly,
法
but because I hope we can have some time to think about it.
达到前面这几个
Can we use the seed method to reach the
刚才这个
first
都
few
是有一些
steps?
是这个
So
功课
what
跟
we
大家
talked
做一个
about,
示
actually they're in your homework. So just to let you know,
好吧
just a little hint,
好，接下来的话，
we have been talking about our homework.
来到了意识
And
的
then
昏沉跟
We have
焦
come
躁
to the dullness and
就是你
agitation of our
开始
mind.
呢这个对象
That
来
is
到你面前的
when
时候，
the meditation object come to
会发现说，
you and you
它一直
realize,
在那里，但是
even though it's always
有
there,
时候它
but
模糊的
sometimes it's blurry.
或者是有时候你会
It's not focused.
很焦躁去想到其他
Or
事情，
sometimes when you're agitated
某一部分
and you start thinking
会
other
想到
things,
对象上，
but some part of you is still on that object. In Tibetan,
非常像韩文一样。
it's like Korean.
待会有没有人知道这个
Anybody knows? I would like to ask later on
朋友
if anybody knows this word in Korean. It means friend. 친구. 친구 in Korean means friend.
它其实是两个
But this is Tibetan.
韩文叫什么？
So what is it exactly in Korean?
亲骨
친구.
亲骨
친구.
OK 亲骨，但是如果在
친구.
藏文的话呢，它叫请个，
But in Tibetan, it's 친구.
它是有两个，就是青蛙，好不好？
There are two words, 칭와 and göba.
青蛙就是昏沉，
칭와 means dullness.
那它把
göba
就变成
is agitation.
请个，
And then combined together is
青
친구.
蛙，
칭와,
是青蛙，青蛙，
no, 칭와,
格吧，
göba, göba.
OK， 所以就亲个，
Then together is
它
친구.
是意识的昏沉跟焦躁。
Means the dullness and agitation in your mind. This is the third
不想
problem.
冥想，你已经把这件事情解决完了，然后你去冥想
So when you have
遇到什么
solved all the previous problems and then you come to meditation,
冥想在里面，
so after you pull back your meditation object, it's in front of you, then there are two things that would happen. It's like driving a car. Maybe you are in a field, you're on a road that's between the fields, and then it's very narrow. And then if you drive a little to the right, then you fall into the ditch. And if you too much on the left, you also fall into another ditch.
情况，右边就是骨就是昏沉跟焦躁。
So on the right is Goba, and on the left is Qingba. So you have to
弄回来，
always try to pull them back into the
待
middle.
会再来讲一下解决。
Then what is the solution? I will talk about that later.
在讲之前呢，就
Uh,
是
For that,
它的这个昏沉
about
稍
dullness,
微复杂一点，
it's a little more complicated.
分成比较明显的昏沉，跟比较
Some are the
不
gross
明显的
dullness, and some are the subtle dullness.
这会讲到三个不同的
And then there are three different
三个不同的特质。OK，
characteristics.
画风一转到其他地方，不要好好
So
跟着
we're
一下啊。
kind of changing the topic now. Just follow me.
OK， 第一个就是当我们在冥想的时候呢，冥想的
So
对象
first is when we are
会
meditating,
有分成
our meditation state, there are three kinds of characteristics. The first one is called ne cha.
那个恰
ne
就是
cha. Cha
有点
is
像
like
这个饼干有没有恰恰，就是有点
the
就是
the
内恰。那内的意思呢，就是停留在那里，所以它的
ne is
叫
like
fixation，
staying there.
就是你有
So in
那个
English, it's called
定在
fixation.
那里
It's
为
fixed
什么我
there.
用一只手机来
Why do I use a cell phone to
它
talk
就
about
像
this?
是今天我握了一个手机，
It's like when I have a phone in my
握
hand,
在这里，
I'm
这
holding
就
it.
叫做内恰，就叫
This is called necha.
我的手
It's
就是
fixation.
有把
My
它
hand
就是有稍微用力，
is actually using some force, whether it's bigger force or smaller force. There is a force to keep them there, to hold it there. So there are three kinds.
就是第一个是内恰。
So the first one is
对
necha.
方有没有让这个冥想的主题，就是
Am
对象
I
定在那里 OK，
fixing the meditation
然后
object
再来
there?
呢
And then the second one is sel cha. You can pronounce it
小恰
sel cha.
小恰的意思是什么？
Sel cha
它的意
means
思指的清晰，并不是指的是说那个
It's
对象
clarity,
看起来模糊
but it
模糊哦，不是这样的。
it's not like the
以为是
object is blurry.
那个
At the beginning, I thought that too,
眼科的时候呢，都会有一个那个
because sometimes I go to the eye doctor.
热气球
They have a
哦，或者是有一个
they have an image for you to look at when they're testing your eyes, checking your eyes. So there's like a balloon, a hot balloon there, and then sometimes they adjust the machine and you see it more blurry or more clear. At the beginning, I thought it was that meaning, but actually not. The Cao Cha means is the meditator themselves. Is when you are meditating, are you clear about where you are in the meditation state? Do you have the awareness that how clear you are on your meditation objects? If you're clear enough, you know where you are, then you have Saucha. And then the third one, what is it? We have three kinds. The third one is Narcha. Narcha. Not na, is nga. Nga-cha. Later, I will talk about it. But first, we are going to talk about the dullness of our mind, the gross dullness. Let me describe it. The obvious dullness is Qingwa Rakpa in Tibetan. Why do I use Tibetan to teach? In the past, when our teacher taught ACI, there are two ways. First, you can use English, or you can use Tibetan. If you would like to learn in Tibetan, he would also teach in Tibetan. So you can pronounce it. It's just for planting the seed. You don't have to write it in your homework, not necessarily. So there are two kinds. The first kind is it's called Rakpa. It's gross. It's obvious. So here you have a fixation. You have Necha, but you don't have Saucha. So this means there's dullness. So you know you are holding a cell phone, but your mind is not very clear about what is the state of this holding. So ourselves are not clear about our own state or our meditation object state. So meaning you don't have Saucha here. So if we invite our teacher in front of us, and in this golden room, and they're in front of us, and so I know they're there, they didn't disappear, so then I have fixation. But if you don't have Saucha, is that your mind is not very clear about the whole situation. You cannot clearly see the whole situation, the whole state. Somebody said if the teacher's face is blurry, it's not about whether they are blurry, the object is blurry or not, it's ourselves. Maybe your object is very clear, but I'm not clear about my state. Maybe later on, we can invite Tim to explain a little more. Because this part, I also spend some extra time to ponder on it. So maybe we can leave that question to Tim later. When we push all the questions to Tim. So the meaning here is that I take a tea with me and I hold it. This is Necha. And then if you can hold it and not letting it fall. Maybe Saucha, I will leave it to Tim to explain. when I was preparing for this class today, I wasn't so clear about it because
那再来
so
的话呢，
we'll leave that to Tim. And then
接
next,
下来这个叫青蛙茶哦
it's called 青蛙草。
，OK， 茶哦 ，OK， 我上面这个应该是后面那个应该是叉才对啊。
It should be 茶 at the end.
OK， 所以你会有前面两个，你有
So you have the first two.
非常知道你有在抓住这个
You're very clear. You know that you are holding this object and the object is in front of you. And
状态是什么，也知道。
then you also have a clear understand. You are clear about where you are in your mind, but you don't have intensity.
OK， 好，所以呢，就是没有这个强度的意思是什么？就是
So what does it mean without intensity?
当中，但
I can share that
感觉
you might also have this feeling in your meditation. Have you ever had an experience that after you listen to a class, maybe a DCIG class, level 7,
见证空性，
and then somebody is talking about direct perception of emptiness and you feel very touched? But after a year, and then when teacher come to talk about it again,
然后你感觉很像
you feel you're very immersed in the whole thing, and then you feel like yourself is in what they're describing, and even you would cry, start crying, and you are so touched.
画面，同样的一个
So it's the same image, it's the same clarity, but the intensity is different.
假设你今天在做视语受冥想，
So for example, if you're doing
你可
Tonglen
以是那个对象在你面前，你也可以是
and the object is in front of you,
状态，你也要将对方的痛苦给带走。你可能
and you know your state of mind, and you can
时候你的
clearly know your object,
帮对方的痛苦带走的时候呢，你会有一种恐惧，你会有一种恐惧，
and
是觉得说
when you're taking away
在
your
里面的时候会伤害
the person's fear,
或者是说
then when you're taking from the person, you feel some kind of fear.
这时候呢，那个就是强度，
That is kind of a kind of intensity.
有 feel 没有 feel， 对，
有在做，然后可是有时候是有那个
就像是
It's like
就像那个力度，就像你今天就是戴上了一个
much
3D 的眼镜，然后你
force you put in.
就是你真的在
It's like you put on a virtual goggle to play a game,
感觉老师在你面前，
and then you can really feel your teacher is right in front of you.
这个
Sometimes it's I'm meditating every day with this teacher in front of me,
但是你就没有
and I have the fixation, I have
雀
the
跃或那种
clarity, but I don't have the
在他
excitement.
面前的那种感觉。
It's not, I don't feel them really in front of me
当
living,
你每天就说
almost
我的
touching my knees.
是膝盖，对方身上有温度，脸上有
Because we
笑
always hear teachers say, oh, you can feel your knees touching them, and then you can feel their temperature, they're
在
warm,
我面前，
and then you can smell them.
这个就是强度。
And then maybe after 20 times failing to feel all those, maybe on the 21st time you feel it, and that is intensity.
每天会不一样。
Yes, it differs every day.
如果你可以问每一个老师来讲，因为
If you can ask different teachers to share, because we all know
来自于我们的，
that the
所以有时候
good
有可能
quality of a meditation all come from our
有时候
seeds.
它就突然就掉下来。
So maybe even in one person within a month, the meditation quality could vary.
长期哦，长期就是这个状态。
Oh, somebody said they have that situation
要怎么办？
for a long time. So what can you do
然后
when you face that problem all the time?
做什么，或者是说你可以
Then you can
去写60书怎么去
write the 6-time book
更有清
so that you can be more clear or have
身临其境，看到这个冥想非常
to, and in order for you to have more intensity, to help you to get more intensity.
这个哪恰在这里呢？他讲
So
的
the ngacha here
刚磨完的这个刀一样，
it's like a knife that's been
锐利，然后非常的强，
that's
强
been
度非常的
filed.
那当你今天在做这冥想的时候，你
So
就很像
it's
当你看到老师
very
摇到
sharp.
面前的时候，你就感觉他在面前。
So whenever you invite a teacher in front of you, then you
有一次
see
我问
very
美
vividly.
国的一个老师，一个朋友，
And there
他就
was
是
one
老
time
师
a
住
teacher, a friend, his name is
帅帅的
Rob
帅帅
Haggerty.
全身刺青，非常的
And
帅。
yes, very handsome and with loads of tattoos on him.
对，开到那个，他也有疝气，对对对。我不能去笑别人，我只是陈述事实。
Don't laugh at
这是陈述
others.
事实
I think they're talking about the hernia.
他要在医院的时候去开刀。
Yes, he needed an operation. Please don't judge. Please have some compassion.
你不能来
So what I wanted to say is
就是照顾你的妈妈，就是你
you
爱的妈妈，她照顾
spend 8 years in Seattle to take care
她说
of
你
your
不觉得老师
mom
离开过你，
until they
然后她说完
leave.
全不会。
But if teacher leaves you someday, are you going to be so sad as well? And he said, no.
当你在做冥想的时候，你
So
可以
this is like
认真的去感受
when
在你
you
在冥想做的
are
时候，
in
其实是要
meditation
张老师来到你面前。有一些练习者，他可以让那个
So
老
when
师
we're inviting our teacher to come into ourselves, some people they can really feel the teacher in their body with them all day, every day. And then there's always somebody to support them, whatever they do something. And that's a kind of intensity.
OK， 好，那看一下，所以再讲一次，明显的
So
意识昏沉
again,
就是我们可以定在
the
那里，
obvious
但是意识
dullness
有一个稍
is
微的
that
昏沉，就是我们没有
we
办
can
法
fix ourselves
像
there,
隔了一
but
层纱一样在看
we are not very clear about our state.
那如果
It's
你不
like
相
there's
信
a
可以
veil in front of
就是
us.
他从他本身那里不清楚，而是因为
So
这个意
it's
识状态
not about the object, it's about the meditator.
所以我
It's
们会
like there's a veil between us and the object.
我不晓
So
得
we don't
这
see
个大家在
very
这
clearly.
个
Maybe we'll invite Tim to
那
explain
再来
that
的话
further
是
later.
你可以很
And
非常
then
细微的细微
this
的
is the
就是
subtle
你可以
dullness.
让对象在那里，也可以
Is that you can fix the object there
但
and
是
it's
像
clear,
我们可能
but
会觉得就是它没有那个强度，
we don't
如果
feel the
你强力地
intensity.
去增加，大家
Then how can you
大家会
increase that
去
intensity?
OK，
You can
所以
think
它的
about
解
that.
决方案是什么？
So what's a solution? What's a correction?
楔形，
It's called shishin.
警报器。但在
Yeah,
讲
the
这个之前
alarm.
呢，我们先来
But before we talk about that,
先回过头来一下，就是我们现在在问题第3个嘛，
we are
怎么
on
会
the
有
third
亲格
problem.
对亲格，哦，你这样去想一下，朋友在这里的话，亲格他们是你最好的朋友，
Chingu is your best
让
friend.
他成为你最好的朋友。
Don't allow it to become your best friend.
跟他讲，哦，不要过来。
Just tell them go away.
问题3总共有2个部分。青
So
蛙
on
对吧
this third
青蛙
problem, we
是
have
2个
Qinghua and Gurba.
就是
Qinghua and
就是
Gurba.
青蛙 rappa 就是意识
Qinghua Rakpa
跟
is the
青蛙
obvious
意识
dullness, and Qinghua Jiawo is the subtle
第
dullness.
一半 OK， 第2个部分是什么？
So what's the second part?
OK，
It's
做
the
这个 AI 做
agitation.
得不错吧？
I think this AI picture is not bad, right?
当我今天在冥想的时候呢，
So when I'm
对
meditating,
象还在这里，
the
但是
object is still
稍微
there,
的
but
没有，因为
you
去
might
想就是渴
you
望
might wander away.
就是歌吧
You might start to think
你会去
about
想到
things
珍珠奶茶
you want,
OK，
something you want, some desire, like the
那
bubble
像我在
tea.
教这堂课的时候呢，他讲
So when Geshe Michael is teaching
他
this
的
class
其实他的
Gurba
讲
in the
本质
Tibetan
来讲，走
dullness,
神，它总共有3种走神。
there are 3 kinds, not dullness, the agitation or wandering around, wandering away.
第一种不是球吧，是球瓦。
So there are 3 kinds.
第一种球瓦呢，就是
The first is
我今天在看着老
chowa.
师，或者是在试
Like when I'm looking at my teacher or when I'm in Tonglen,
想到说啊，
it's
我要来帮这个快乐同木款
Maybe you're thinking about I should do some fundraising for Happy Can, or like Brian said, oh, I haven't finished editing the Happy Can video. I have to deal with that. So this is the first kind. You go from a very nice meditation object and then you wander off to another object. But that object is something to help others. So this is the first kind, chowa, the first kind of wandering off. And then the second kind of wandering off is in the middle of the meditation, you suddenly think about yesterday your boss yelled at you, and suddenly you feel hurt. And you start wondering, why do I get yelled at? And you're thinking about somebody who's very irritating, maybe, or somebody who owe you money. Somebody very irritating, or somebody criticizing you online. So this is the second kind of wandering off. The third kind of joa is some desire you have. It's in the middle of the meditation. It's not like you're thinking, oh, I want an iPhone or something so obvious like that. I think most of you won't have that kind of wandering off, but it's more like, oh, I will have to go shopping with my parents, or I have to go have afternoon tea with my friends, or I have to bring my kids to school. This is whatever you want. So there are three kinds of wandering off. So the agitation we're talking about is the third kind here. So you wander off to something you want to do, or maybe you're onto your partner, or maybe the movie you want to see tonight because you just watched the trailer. And then you wonder what that movie is going to be about and how good it's going to be, something like that. So I asked AI to generate a picture. Somebody is thinking about bubble tea, and then it just gave me a whole bunch of bubble floating. And then he got a tea there, kind of separated the thing. So agitation is when you wander off to other things and you get distracted. So the first is dullness, second is agitation. All right. Basically, here today, what's the solution? The correction is Sheshin. What does that mean, Sheshin? Recently, something happened when I went to the US. I saw people burning sage, and some people use it to purify the space. And I bought the sage and went back to my Airbnb and I lit it and burn the sage. And in the middle of it, it started dan. So I had to open all the windows, the doors. And the Airbnb owner just lived next door. So I was afraid that they might call the fire department. So Sheshin is just like that. It's like the smoke detector. When these two problems, they appear, when your mind is blurry or dull, or your heart or your mind has wandered off to other things, then there's this ding alarm going off. Then you can use chenba. What's chenba? Pulling it back. And you also have to train yourself in that too. So there there are two situations where you can use Chenba. One is that when your teacher just completely disappeared, you need Chenba. The second situation is when it's a little dull, you also need Chenba. And also when you get distracted and wander off, thinking about bubble tea, you also need Chenba to pull it back. So you have to constantly train this muscle. You have to be clear what is your state in your meditation, and then you have to pull it back. So there are two things we constantly have to do in meditation. Like today when I was doing Tonglen, I wanted to get the smoke, suck in the black smoke. When I sucked it up to their heart, and I suddenly remember, oh, I need to do some translation. I need to do some video editing, or I have to do my visa. And I realized I already wandered off. So then I have to pull it back. And you have to treat them like a little baby. It's like, come back slowly, slowly, gently. It's just calling your cat back. We have to use something to tempt it to come back. So, when we are in agitation or in dullness, are there any things we can do to solve them? When I first time learned about this, is teacher Will taught it. That was very long ago. He said, if your mind is so agitated, you can think about yourself becoming bones. You can think about dark things or sad things. Like if you're doing Tonglen, and you realize your mind is very agitated these days, then you can change the topic, like change it to a scene where you're laying down in a coffin, become just a skeleton. So it's a kind of death meditation, because someday you're gonna get old and die. So you can think about these things, and it helps at the same time to help your mind to calm down. So when we have agitation, we can switch or change the meditation topic and to adjust. And on the other hand, if you're very dull, then what do you do? Think of something happy, something uplifting. You can do the golden rule, or you can see your family members' faces in front of you one by one to think the bodhicitta meditation, so that someday maybe in your meditation you really see that. So this is very uplifting. And to tell each one of them, I'll take care of you, don't worry, I'll take care of you, don't worry. It's something very uplifting. It's a very warm meditation. Or you can do in level 7, we do the sky meditation. That is also okay. Everyone is different. You can explore a bit for yourself.
Okay. 好，那今天就是我 讲完了总共
So I've finished the 3
主题嘛 ，OK， 我们再来复习
topic. Let's review.
再来复习一下，看一下。
Let's review.
我知道，我再回来一下。好。 第一个
The first one? What's the first one?
Lelo， 跟着我念一下。
Lelo. Pronounced Lelo?
Lelo 就是什么
What is Lelo?
懒惰嘛
Laziness. Oh, I don't want to get a girlfriend. I'm just lazy. So what's a
或者是说
first thing to do is go on Tinder
什么交友圈看有没有可以
or go to some dating groups
所以呢，第一个
to
label 就是
see.
你不第一个解决方案就是什么？去看一下对
So
方
it's
或者
the
是
first
哪一些
the
点心
solution to this first problem is to look at the benefits, the good
第二个是什
qualities.
么？当你看到对方，你决定想要去
And then
去追他哦，
when you
想要
see
去
that person, you
就对
are
他
determined that you want to
然
get
后第
them
三个就是
to become your
你已经
partner.
跟他认识
And then thirdly,
还没跟他在一起，但你在这
you already
过程
know
中
them,
不断地去
but you are not with them, you're not together with them yet.
然后做非常多的努力
So you're gonna
上60书
do some
然
effort,
后去上 ACI 的课
maybe so that in meditation, then you maybe start to do write your book, and then you do the check-in system, gather a group of
去做
people to support each other
村主
and do 10 minutes of meditation to start with. So this is
再
chunju.
来的话呢，就是当你
And
这
then
每天都在让你到冥想殿上的时候呢，开始
when
冥想就
you
会
can really
开始
go on the meditation cushion every
这时候
day,
甜头包含
then you have a little, it's
你
like
身心
a
都
little
非常舒
treat
适的位置。
for your body and mind. You're
Okay,
already
so
feeling
第一个
comfortable
第一个
staying in it.
就是 Lelo， 它是
So the
最
first one, lelo, laziness, is the biggest
这时候
problem. That
你
is
要
that, oh, I
不断
just
地
don't
去
want to
提醒
meditate.
自己 OK 吗？然后
So
再
you
来的
have
话
to
当你
continuously to
提醒
remind
之后
yourself.
最后
And
就
then
是
when we actually get into meditation, the first problem you would face is that
所以
your
这叫
object would
就
disappear.
是它突然会消失在你面前。
So it just disappears
这个
suddenly
是
in front of
我
you.
们功课当中的一个，
This is one of the homework.
它虽然
It's
翻成叫忘记指示，但它实际上是指
even
忘
though
记
the
影响对象突然消失。
translation says forgetting the
所以我们
instructions,
可以做什么
but
事
it's
情？
your meditation object disappearing.
它都有个别的这个个别
So
的解决方式，
every problem has a specific
然后你可以把它想
solution.
成是一个
First
绳
one
子一
is
样
chenba.
棒
So you can think of
然
it
后呢
like a
再来的话，当我能够让意识在面
like a
前，
string that you can
我
pull
就
it back.
来看一下意识会怎么样。
And when your object is in front of
它的
us,
上
then we start to have
听个
dullness and agitation. It's
就很像韩文的这个朋友一样听个。
chinga.
那总共接下来就来复习了，这也是功课之一，就是
So this is
当我们
also
今
your
天在
homework.
有3种状况，
We have 3 situations.
你能不能抓住
First one is
抓住
necha.
让
It's when you are holding
定在
that object,
就像手机抓着手机
fixing it
就像我现在
there.
抓着麦克风一样。
It's like I'm holding my
第二个就
microphone.
是
And then the
我们的意
second
识
one,
有没有很清晰？
whether it's clear or not, it's called
当你
selcha.
的意识没有很清晰的时候，就像是一个雾
When your mind is
在
not
你面前
clear,
然后你
it's
要
like you have fog in front of you and you have to look through the fog to look at
雾
everything.
去看那个冥想对象，就很像一层纱。
So it's like there's a veil between you and the objects.
这个网络没有很
The resolution is like when your internet is not good
可以看，你只能用
and
24
you can watch the
非常惨，对不对？
lower resolution video, but when you want to watch 4K, then it just gets stuck or not clear.
哪恰
And then ngacha.
哪恰就像这种，
Ngacha
我不
is
晓得这
like,
个例子合不合适了。就是
I'm not sure if
今
this
天
example is appropriate or not. When I'm watching a
我
video,
今天如果带上
maybe it's not
Vision Pro，
an intense feeling for me, but if I
它在我面前
put on the Vision Pro from Apple, then I would feel like, wow, it's
跟我
exciting.
很想要跟他互动。
It's like almost you want to interact with them.
那个
So
你已经觉得他就在
in
你
your
面前非
meditation,
常的清楚，然后那个强度也。
whether you
然后
feel
当你今天在做
there's
事
this intensity with
意
the
识到
object,
哇，天哪，就是这个过下来之后，
like when you're doing the death meditation,
如果
when
你
the
觉得
rocks are falling down, you feel like you're really
通
there.
常有分2种，第一种是明显，
And then
当你
dullness, there are 2 kinds.
你就
There's the obvious
但
kind,
是呢，你隔着一层纱。
is that
今天当你有
you can fix the
就代表是
object there, but it's like there's a veil in between, it's not clear.
能够抓住它。
And for the subtle agitation, it's like you are fixing it, you're clear, but then there's no intensity.
很理解或者是很有感受，它就在
You don't feel excited. You don't feel like the object is
今天在做
vivid or living.
今天在做这个黄金屋冥想的时候呢，
When you're doing Tonglen or doing the Golden Room, you just cannot feel the object is right in front of you.
OK，
It's more like a flat picture.
当你今天没有强度的时候呢，
So when you don't have this
这就会有
intensity,
危险，就是你以为
there's a
冥
danger
想已经做得非常好，
because when you're here, it means your meditation is quite good already. You can be fixed there, but then you feel like you can just stay there.
一直停留在这里，没有往上去，它最后
And
会
if you get stuck there and not going forward, then you are gonna be born in form realm or formless
虽
realm.
然说是这个
Although those realms
这个六道里面当中的三，
within the 6 realms, it's 3 better ones.
是我讲错了，是欲界之外的。
Oh,
色界跟
excuse me, I
你虽然会
confused.
非常酷，
it's above the desire realm. So they are better than desire realm,
就像做大怒神一样，直接来。
but you're just gonna wear out all your good seeds
用这些
there,
工具
and then you're just gonna drop all the way to the bottom when you die.
要清楚知道，不要
So when we are enjoying the process in meditation, we have to be clear that we cannot stay there, we cannot get stuck there.
不要去享受在
You need to,
身心清安的过程当中，而是你要
so you don't
走那五道。
just immerse yourself and just stay in that comfortable and light
最重要的
feelings.
刚才同学在
You have to go forward.
就是
So
常常上
one of you just mentioned that
在做冥想的时候一定会遇到
in the morning, every day we're now doing meditation, and we have one big problem is that we're too tired.
像每天你起来了状
I
态
can I
你会
ask
觉得很
every day when you wake up, do you feel fresh and full of energy?
棒棒的，大家给
Wow.
鼓励一下，
Please give some applause to them.
你满是能量啊，
You're so full of
他
energy
超强的，为什么？因为他还有小朋友哎。
because they also have kids.
如果你每天起来是
If you wake up every day and feel like, oh,
担心
it's
里面的
another
那种
day,
很充满能量，你看
and not you don't feel like full of energy and you're just tired, if you're like that, please raise your hand.
所以呢，其实我们要担心的是什么？
So what we have to worry about is that whether we went to bed early the night before.
晚上是10点。
Can I ask, do you go to bed at 10? Anybody?
哦，OK OK，那非常好。
Oh, that's great.
天哪，只有一位，OK，
Oh, only one,
两个
two.
，11点到12点睡的举手一下。
You go to bed from 11 to 12 p.m.?
在现代人来讲
Or 12 a.m.?
不错的。但
Oh, for modern people, it's already not bad.
12点睡的
But
12点睡
It seems like most of us are going to bed after 12
12点
a.m.
睡的 OK，好，举着
Right
先举着，
You hold your hands
1点前睡的举放下，
before 1,
2点
before 1 a.m., before 2 a.m.,
哇，3点 OK，
3 a.m. Okay,
没有睡好，所以呢，
not having good
所以
sleep.
我晚上会
So
经历一个非常特殊的一个状况。
we have a very special situation at night.
把它做
We usually do whatever we didn't finish in the morning at night.
状态完成工作。第一种就是
So we always want to end everything to complete every task before we go to
然后去
sleep.
看 Netflix，
Or you want to just go to Netflix. You just want to relax. Which kind are you? Are you working at night? If you are, please raise your hand.
看
Or if you are looking at your cell phone at night.
OK， 所以呢，请加入晚安俱乐部。
So please join Good Night Book Club.
真的，这个是
No, I'm serious.
这个真的是老师他从
It's
就已经不断的在试
It's something that our teacher has been experimenting
睡前做咖啡
since almost a year ago himself. So we have to think about why should we do coffee meditation before going to bed or read the ancient classics before going to bed? Because at night after we fall asleep, because before you go to sleep,
咖啡冥想
the last thing you see are these
去想啊，昨天那个 YouTube
ancient classics or your coffee
如果在睡
meditation.
觉前一天是滑这种东西，隔一天起
And it's not YouTube or, the
第一个
videos online,
脸书上的东西或者是影片上
then it's better for your mind.
那你去想
Because the next morning, the first thought you have when you wake up is the same thought that you went to bed with.
那你觉得
if the last moment before you die, you are just watching cat videos on your cell phone, what kind of death would you have? What do you think you're going to become in the next life? You can think about it. Every night before you go to bed, for me, it's actually like practicing dying. You can try that too. So I would like to read some great ancient wisdom or do some coffee meditation before I die. So same for before going to bed. So these wisdom from the past 2,500 years are really awesome. We have to use them more. And so I thank you all for today. And I finished my first ACI class. Yay! Thank you for inviting me.
非常谢谢 Corinne， 非常谢谢 Angel 茂金姐在线上。OK， 然后我觉得就是 ACI 是影响我非常深的。
I think ACI affected me a lot, and also Tibetan learning. Now I'm all poisoned by Tibetan. I don't know if Tim has the same feeling. Last time I went to Kyoto, I went to a coffee shop, and in that coffee shop, the sign says Leila Bo, and I saw Leila Bo. I was like, oh. In Tibetan, it means very easy. So once you started learning Tibetan, even when you're looking at car plates, you would GCIG, and then you know, oh, it means one. So you kind of get poisoned, but in a good way. So I think the 35-year of Geshe course is being condensed into this ACI courses. And it's really helpful if you want help to get to your enlightenment, to get to your Buddhahood. It is definitely something you can do and you should do. And it's not that far away, actually. Why? Because like Geshe says, when you are pulling an arrow and letting it fly, it's already on its way. It's almost hitting the target. So only us weirdos have that privilege to listen to all this, and we should really make good use of it. So you have to raise your hand and pat on your shoulder and say, good job. I must have planted very good seeds in the past me. And I will carry on that effort and do even better. So you can also take a chance to know everybody around you, because they are going to be your very good companions on this path. So to fight the first enemy of meditation is to start meditating, to build that habit. And in the future, whenever you face some kind of stopping of this meditation, of this habit, please do remember to call for help. So thank you very much. And we are going to take a break, and I'm going to give the time back to Angel. But we have one last class by Tim. And so please cover the rest of the problems and the corrections. And thank you.